This week on Nerds Who Get Laid Sometimes, the nerds discuss the Captain Marvel trailer, the PlayStation 1 Classic console, Kingsman 3, Loki, Scarlet Witch, X-Men, Avitar, The Eternals, The Joker, and Mary Poppins Returns. All of this and so much more coming at you right now on Nerds Who Get Laid Sometimes.
Nerds Who Get Laid.
Welcome to Nerds Who Get Laid
Sometimes.
And we are four stuffed with cheese and breads and all types of delicious crackers. I'm still full from last night.
I have yet to poop.
I don't expect to poop till next
again.
party.
No.
I think we should have a cheese party right before we go to Iceland so no one has to worry about the flight. TJ.
Just imagine when that ticket comes a calling and you got to clear all that lutefisk out your bowels.
I'll just find a hole in a glacier and melt.
I'll just walk
Melt
into
it down.
I'll just walk into the ocean and just let it go back to whence it came.
So TJ threw his monthly food party, and last night was food
through his
and
monthly fit. God damn it!
food and wine, or not food and wine. I'm thinking of Epcot.
Yeah.
He built a small theme park in the back, and cheese and wine. Mm-hmm. And we went over and listened to porno music. It's legitimate.
It wasn't even like classy. It was just it was terrible.
It was like the worst choice of music. It's like TJ was like, I really don't want people to stay tonight, so I'm going to put this on. And then the whole time he's probably texting Kate like, they're not getting the fucking hint. Like, this music hasn't been turned off. It's going for 2 hours. Everyone's still here. Eat the fucking cheese and get out.
We sure did eat the cheese, though.
Oh, man.
We did.
There was some good stuff there.
So we
we
talked
cut
about
the cheese and we ate the cheese.
So, guys, real quick before we move on, what is your least favorite cheese?
I don't know if it's my least favorite, but I'm never. Anytime someone has Swiss on something, I'll always try to trade it out with something else, like a provolone or something like that.
If we're talking sandwiches, which we're not, we're just on cheese. But
cheese.
I do agree, cheese. Swiss cheese is very boring.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it's very bland.
I think it depends on what sandwich you go with, because it can add a lot of buttery richness to it. But Swiss by itself, I'm not a fan of.
No.
It's got to be in concert with some other flavors.
Yeah, because I default to Munster if I'm making a sandwich for my own, and I have
like
that.
provolone. I like the creaminess of
I
a
don't mind
provolone.
provolone.
Havarti's really good, too, on a sandwich.
I don't like Havarti as much as some of the other ones. I like it better than Swiss, but cheddar, like the sharpest cheddar I can get, is my favorite. I will always want a sharp ass cheddar.
I hate soy cheese. It's disgusting.
That's not cheese.
It's disgusting. And then there's some really just strong cheeses, like strong odious cheeses I'm not a real fan of. Brie's about as odious as I'll go.
Brie's not very odious, though.
No.
It's a very light.
That's as far as I'll go.
Plain.
I like Gouda's and Gruyere's.
I'd have to come back on that
Gouda's
with the smellier cheese. You just got to pair it with something right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because I love taking like some fruit, not usually grapes. I like grapes and cheese together. Like,
I would say you're probably right, because it really evens some of those strong flavors up.
Does.
I've gotten used to just eating cheese by itself,
Sure.
and those can be a big turnoff
out of the bag,
or
Yeah.
the right
at 3 in the
cracker,
morning.
I like the right saltiness of a cracker. They go
I
with
would
it.
say my favorite cheese, though, I know it's weird, is like fresh block Parmesan.
Oh yeah,
That's not bad
that's
either.
good.
Just like a hunk of Parmesan. Love it. It's so good.
TJ, what's a cheese that you just want to fight if someone offers it to
Oh,
you?
Swiss.
You say you're a Swiss?
Yeah.
I mean,
Once you said it, it just clicked in my head. I was like, yeah.
Personally, I
Screw
think
that
the
cheese.
cheese I dislike the most is American cheese, and not because it doesn't taste that great. I just find it it's the most boring of cheeses.
I
That
think
was
it has
my original.
It has its absolute place, though. does really well on a grilled cheese.
See, I like a fancy grilled cheese.
No,
I
I
want
do
multi
too.
cheeses.
But have you ever taken a fancy cheese and thrown an American on there with it? Because the way it melts.
Yeah.
And the same thing with a hamburger.
Because isn't American cheese just a bunch of cheeses melted together?
Yeah.
It's what it is.
It's a blend.
Yeah, it's a blended cheese. It's such a boring cheese, and that's
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like it does have its place, though.
I did almost bring a 50-pack of singles of American cheese last night as a joke, but then I realized that someone probably would sit there and eat them, i.e. me, because I used to do that as a kid. I would sit I had Homer
Just
Simpson.
find like the little plastic wraps hidden everywhere.
Actually, no. Josh wouldn't have eaten that. He demands provolone on all of his sandwiches.
Yeah, see, he's a classy kid.
Man's.
Yeah.
Damn it, you idiot! Dad, what is this shit? Get back in the kitchen.
Yeah, he won't. I'll try to slip something else. No,
I also
get that shit away from me.
a lot of times goat cheese.
I
can only have a certain amount of it. Once it gets to once I have too much of it, it's just too much.
It
I like
becomes
it.
cloying.
If
Yeah.
it's with the right thing, like Christy makes a really amazing dessert with pears, goat cheese on top of a pastry, and it's delicious.
Well, last night it had pretty decently strong goat cheese, but there was a sour cherry kind of jam
Yeah,
with a seasoned cracker.
was really good.
So
'Cause
really
I put
good.
the fig jam on there.
Fig
and
jam was really
that
good. The
Together
fig
with
jam was good with the meat.
Oh, was it? I didn't even try
Yeah,
that.
I actually put a little in the salami. This is so boring, but it's so
well,
good.
I was about to say,
It's important.
Surprise! Nerds that get laid sometimes is now the cheese.
Food boners. Food boner.
Now
podcast.
we're gonna choose a weekly cheese and break down what it pairs nicely with and what aromas it gives off. And you smell that?
Ode de Pede? That's French for foot odor?
Yeah, this smells very much like my socks, so I'm very excited to digest this.
Yes, this is a really good year of Fremunda that we have scraped
Fremunda?
from the innards of Chuck's thighs between that and his balls.
With that, let's get over to the nerd-ons.
Get your nerd on. 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 Get your nerd on.
All right, welcome back. Here's where we break down what we've been doing this week, letting you guys know we are losers. So, with that, Ray, how have you been a loser this week?
I actually have
it down.
done a very bad job at being a nerd this week. Sort of. I've been playing so much Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, you jock, stupid jock.
The only thing that I've watched is the Making It show with Nick Offerman and Amy Poehler.
All right, Mike, what you been doing?
And the newest season of Great British Baking Show.
How many? Wait! You can't just skip over that. You watched Making It. Did you?
All of it.
How many canoes have you hewn?
I did watch a clip of that show, and it looked entertaining, where they had Nick Offerman blindfolded and then
Smelling
sniffing
woods.
wood.
Yeah.
And getting he named a majority of them.
He named all of them but mahogany.
yeah.
He couldn't get mahogany.
I was pretty. And
I
like,
can believe that.
He was like
Yep.
he would sand it a little bit, or there was one he was licking, I believe.
He was just being silly. They're really, really silly
wasn't.
and ridiculous on it. It was okay.
He was doing a straight face.
I mean, we watched the whole season. It was only like 6 episodes. And, I mean, Amy Poehler and Nick Offerman just are so fun together.
Yeah.
So it was great to see them back together. We did start the new season of the Great British Baking Show that was on Netflix, and I don't like it as much.
It's not that it's bad. It just takes a little bit getting used because there's new judges.
They've changed everyone except for
apparently,
the main guy.
I guess when the show, the other people didn't want to sign new contracts. Christy had read into it, and there was something I can't remember exactly, because I'm the same way. I was like, even though I didn't really like the original,
No, I didn't either.
but I was like, this new weird-looking black-haired guy is so awkward.
Yeah, he is. But the other ones were awkward too. The host, because there's the host and the judges, and the who was the main lady? I can't remember.
I don't know
Mary's
their names.
Huh? Mary? Yeah. So Mary's not there anymore, but Paul's still there.
Paul's still
Okay.
So,
All right,
part of the show.
I can be there.
Yeah.
For that.
And the new lady, like,
Nick Offerman of cooking.
yeah, the new lady.
Nick Cookerman.
Honestly, the first 2 episodes or so, I was like, where's Mary? Fuck this. But after that, like, I got used to the other lady, and I was fine with her. It was the host, especially the man is awkward, but the lady is so horrible. Like, she's just not at all funny. So
They're never funny.
no,
So.
well,
No.
they aren't. The other ones weren't either.
I was talking to Chris. I was like, I wonder over in Britain if there's just people watching this show fucking cracking up like, "Whoa, did you hear that joke?" Because
Well,
I'm
it
like,
looked like that souffle.
I have
failed to
laughed at him
raise
a
to the
couple of times
occasion.
though. That like asking Mary if she wanted to eat some carpet and
oh no,
stuff like that.
there is one episode where they were making some muffins and the guy put it in the shape of a dick.
yeah,
And they brought it up to him, and that's funny.
that was funny. Yeah,
Dicks are always funny.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
the host didn't do that joke. That was done by the cooker of the.
well, and I think he
maker.
accidentally did it, and they made a comment, and he was like, "Oh yeah," and then they put it
roll
in
with
front of Paul, and he was like, "What is this?"
yeah.
But yeah, it was okay. I didn't watch. I didn't. I was doing other stuff while Allison watched it, so Allison like just went completely through it. Like I think this weekend we watched all of it.
Mm-hmm.
I also cut some dividers for my. I got those cabinets for my comic books, and I stabbed myself in the figure while doing that. But
Nice.
it looks really nice. They it looks a lot
Now
more
all your comics
organized.
have lost so much value because they're just covered
There's
in
blood everywhere. It looks like so much more organized with the dividers in there. So I've got to cut some more of those.
Are they alphabetized like in the comic shop?
They are.
You got the
They
little
are.
A's and then the B sticking
No,
up?
I actually have the most of my tabs have the name of the comic that's there. So it's not even A's and B's. It's Amazing Spider-Man, Alpha Flight, all that stuff.
and all numerical too. I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And so I think I'm going to redo that part of it for my personal comics because this is so boring. The dividers are actually wider than everything else.
You
so
are boring as
whatever. But that has been about it for me this week.
Michael.
Saw the Nun.
I ain't having none of that.
Actually, that's what I was saying. I looked over and I'm like, man, you don't want none of that. Like, that's the whole movie. It wasn't bad. I know that the Conjuring movies are kind of hit or miss for people. I'm a big fan of them. I enjoy them.
Oh, I didn't realize this was a Conjuring film.
Yes, this is a spinoff of the villain from the second Conjuring movie.
Wasn't she the painting that
Yes.
was okay.
Yes.
I thought it was tied.
Yeah, this takes place, I think, in the 30s or 40s at a convent in Romania, I think.
Romania.
It has its creepy moments. It relies on jump scares like usual, but it's not up to the quality, I feel, of the Conjuring movies. I mean, it is creepy. The visuals are really, really good, but it wasn't my favorite.
Sure.
I thought the second Annabelle movie was a lot better.
Really? Because Annabelle movies just never.
The first
struck
Annabelle
me.
movie, I don't think was very good at all. The second one was pretty scary, I think, for all intents and purposes. But if you're really into the series, really into the franchise, it's definitely worth a watch. But other than that, I'm still playing Doom.
All right.
How long is Doom?
Well, no, I beat it about 3 times. I'm going through and getting all the little stuff. I just can't stop playing it. I'm just so excited for the second one.
Cool.
That's it.
DJ.
Okay. So TV wise, watched all of American Vandal season 2
It's so
this
good.
week. Is a lot of fun. I think I actually liked it better than the first one as well. I like how it had a definite ending.
Yeah, I like the wrap up a lot better.
And there was so much social commentary all through the thing, and so many little things.
The throwbacks to like when Apple had the
Yes.
glitch for when
That
you,
was so good. God.
those things I did enjoy a lot because it kind of tied back to things you're like, oh fuck, I remember that.
Yeah. So it was really good. So I like that. We watched the first episode of this show called The Good Cop with Josh Groban and Tony Danza.
I'm already pissed about this.
It was
That's the ultimate. This sounds like a dad show.
It's definitely a dad show.
How many laugh tracks are on it?
None.
Okay.
None. It's a Netflix
Nobody
original.
laughs.
Yeah, that's-
Couldn't even force himself to push the
They couldn't
button.
even. They're like, this isn't funny.
on this show, an odd thing happened. I went to sleep during it, not Katie. So
She's got such hots for Tony Danza.
no, it's
And
Josh Groban.
All those
Yes.
teenage feelings.
Tony Danza.
No, it was Josh
Tap
Groban.
Dancing
Definitely.
Extravaganza. Anybody? That was
Yeah.
a band from back in the day.
I've been listening to a new podcast. I finished Jay and Miles Explain the X-Men, so I started Thor: Lightning in the Storm.
Yeah, which is Miles's other podcast.
Yeah.
When
Lightning in the storm.
when they took a break for a while, he did that with a friend, and I've listened to the first few. Probably, how many episodes is it?
It's 13. It's
Okay.
it's a
I think I
set
listened to half of it.
It's a set number of episodes, so it's really nice. You know that there's an end and everything, and they have a lot of good chemistry on it. And and that era of Thor sounds really
it's going
fun.
through the Walter Simonson era of Thor, which is again another huge run. Like Claremont did
Like a flagship
40,000. Yeah.
but this is only like I think it's like 3 years or so.
Yeah,
it seems
something
like
like
only
that.
36 issues or something. So it's very compact and they're very fun episodes. Like I said, good chemistry there too. So
Yeah. And Miles is just so like upbeat and happy about things and just loves everything and is just excited to tell you about it. So whenever he's on a podcast, it's always really fun.
yeah, and Elizabeth's really fun too.
Yeah, she is.
They both have a lot of fun with this topic. And I did some trades this week. One of them was with Mike, which I actually conducted last Sunday for his Hot Toys Death Trooper, which I really love. It's a great figure. I got some
too.
other ones. Highlight for Sideshow's Darth Malgus figure, which is from the Old Republic game.
Yeah.
Pretty
That's
badass.
a really cool design.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
But my favorite figure I got this week though is that porcelain Stormtrooper.
Where does it rank on your favorite figures that you own?
Probably like 2 or 3, but this is one of those
Really?
pieces.
It's that high?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just so much. It's so unique
Yeah.
compared to everything else. I know it's a Stormtrooper, but the design and the work that
it's
went
beautiful.
into it,
Yeah.
it is a gorgeous figure.
Even because the way they had milk glassed it and they added the blue with it and it has the little Star Wars designs inside of it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
We've been
beautiful.
posting our Nerd-Ons on Instagram when we can get around to them.
yeah.
But we'll add a picture of that on the Nerd-Ons
And I'll
as well.
definitely be doing a review on this
Yeah.
because it is. They've taken it. The Stormtrooper is a pretty cool design anyway.
Yeah.
and just umped
It's
it.
such a unique piece.
So it's a standard white Stormtrooper, original trilogy Stormtrooper,
Yes.
but they have taken some of the armor and put like porcelain fine china designs on it. Correct?
yeah.
Yes,
And it was like
but
a very
there's-
classic design.
yeah, but they've integrated a lot of like imperial symbols
Yes.
and
That's
everything
awesome.
all over it.
And I didn't even realize that, and I've looked at that figure
Yeah.
pretty hard before.
On the back of the helmet, there's like a landscape with an AT-AG
Oh, I
that
did
walks
see
across
that.
the
That
back.
is
I
so
thought it
cool.
was such a beautiful. It was so simple, but just well done.
And the box art on the the outside's just like a normal Star Wars Hot Toys box. It's,
Yeah, and I'm sure, like actual fine china, you will never eat off of it.
oh no, never will. But you pull the box open and the little card art, instead of having like a picture of the figure and everything, it's got a it looks almost like was it katakana? Is that how you pronounce it?
Katakana, yeah, like Japanese script.
Yes, but it just says Stormtrooper, but it's written in that design. It's really cool. It's a great package that they put together for it, and it's a lot of fun.
It's the hot
Yeah,
toy
if I
for
can
your
ever-
grandma.
If I can ever get my hands on one, I would definitely want one.
yeah,
Very cool.
That's
sir.
all I got.
For myself, most of my week, the last 2 weeks, has been editing a music video that we shot last week, and I finally
it's
finished
shitty.
it today. Yeah, I've been spending like hours on it's a picture of me just doing a sweet solo.
I know you've been trying to do that aha video type, but it's just not working out for you, man.
But I got Final Cut Pro, which is a really awesome program. It's actually what they edited No Country for Old Men on.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm just,
So
big.
you're
You and the
basically
Coen
as good
brothers.
as that.
I essentially just
You were
made
like,
the
oh, hey,
American.
Joel, quick question.
I've been hit-
I need to do like some fade
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
this. How do I do that? Oh, hey, Nathan, I
it's-
heard of you.
Yeah, it's Coen Brothers, then Nathan Bachman.
Right
Just
there.
underneath.
Actually, it's vice versa. Anyway, but
Oh,
Nathan
sorry.
Coen.
Excuse me.
Nathan Cohen.
Joel Bachman.
But the program's really cool. I've been enjoying that. And then, we finally finished the video, so I'll be posting that this week. I might share it with you guys. I don't know if it would really go over with you nerds with all my
Well, I mean,
evil metal.
it is about Satan, so that's
Yeah.
cool. It's nerds love Satan.
That's very nerdy, yeah, I will say. Besides that,
Look
that's
at Blaze.
legitimately been what I've
Blaze
been doing
loves
majority.
Satan.
I prefer not to look at plays.
Look at him in all his pudgy vegan metalhead Canadian glory.
I've been watching a show in passing because Chrissy's been binging it while she's doing a lot of schoolwork. My 600-Pound Life. If you want to watch a show that just depresses the shit out of you,
Yeah, I can't do that.
that show just depresses the shit out
That
of you.
and like Hoarders and stuff like
Oh,
that.
I love Hoarders.
It's just too depressing for me.
Hoarders is a
Hoarders
different
is-
beast of just I get sucked into it.
I love the cheapskate shows where people are just unbelievably cheap. Those are so good.
I live that
Extreme
show.
coupon.
It sounds almost like
it
Hoarders.
makes you look.
I know what show
It
you're
makes
talking
you
about.
look
Yeah.
decadent, you cheap motherfucker. It looks like you're lighting $100 bills with your cigars over here.
No, I
compared to what these people
I've
do.
watched some of those. They are.
They're horrendous.
I'm like, come on, man.
How do you
You're
eat
going
that?
a little too extreme. Almost. I mean, I see where you're coming from, but
I don't know. Some of those hoarders are like that too.
I saw one lady keep her. She kept her dryer lint
she could knit some sweaters.
for some reason. It was something very
Wow.
similar to that.
But but she's been watching it, so I'll get sucked in on certain. I mean, ultimately, it's actually a show of hope because a lot of these people lose weight and they're getting their life back together.
That's
so I
good.
mean, it is a good thing. But it's just you watch these and you're just like, man, that fucking sucks. Another show we started, which I thought was going to be funny. It's funny, but goddamn, is it also depressing? Is Splitting Up Together. Jenna Fisher.
Oh.
It's her show.
Oh yeah.
I've heard of this.
It's on Hulu. It's really good. It's shot really well.
I don't think we knew it was on there yet.
I love Jenna Fisher. I got a crush on her from back in the day, and I think she's just aged even better. But the premise of the show is that her and her husband have this finally figured out that they're just not working out, so they get divorced. But because they're upside down on their house, they're still going to live together. They alternate weeks. 1 week they're in the house, the other week they've turned a garage into an apartment, and they go back and forth. And then, of course, I wouldn't say it's actually not hijinks. It's just them trying to adapt to the situation, and you kind of find out like how the marriage was struggling, but yet they still have feelings for each other. So it pulls at the heartstrings a lot.
Sounds horrible. It sounds horribly
Yeah.
depressing.
It's very funny. There's some really it's very well written. There's some really good humor in there. It's just like, but when they go for the heart, you're just bought in emotionally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Katie's told me about the show, but
What's
I've
the
kinda
show?
been there and I don't want to be in it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it anymore.
It's not a Hulu or a
No, I think it's ABC.
okay.
I believe. But yeah, if you want a show like that, I really like it. I suggest anybody that enjoys.
How many episodes are up?
I don't know. It's the first season.
Oh, the whole season. Okay, good.
Yeah, because I started from season one, and
we've needed a new show, so maybe we'll do that.
I know they got renewed for season 2 because on Instagram, Angela will be on season 2. So
Okay.
I'm pretty excited to
they're
see
besties.
that. They are besties. In other news, I heard this last night. I got into a confrontation with two. People would say ladies. I'll call them bitches, and trying to correct me on some Mindy Project stuff. I just want to say for the record, that guy's a Wahlberg. I don't care what his last name is. I don't care who his mammy and pappy is. If they did a bloodline, tree line, they're related.
I don't see it, honestly.
I do, 100%.
Yeah.
He looks like a weird Wahlberg. He just
a weird Wahlberg.
and other people they see it. They're like, okay,
like two cousins?
He's the Stephen Baldwin of Wahlberg.
yes, actually, is exactly that. So I just wanted to post that out there. That apparently I'm wrong. I didn't try and. No one gives a shit. Like no one. He's not listening. He's not on Twitter. But I just want to let those ladies know that I'm still right. But with that, let's move on to the news.
Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce you to the newsman of the evening, Jimmy Ray Hancock, come on now. He's with the news. You're gonna read the news now. Jimmy Ray, he's with the news. Hey Ray, what type of news you got tonight? Well, I hope it's good, 'cause it's Ray with the news. Here we go. Ray's with the news chat. Ray's reading the news chat. Ray's reading the news chat. Ray's reading the news chat.
All right, guys. So we've got some news to announce about, and Sony.
Raise the dumbass.
Sony made an announcement this week that there's going to be a PlayStation 1 Classic console
I
coming
don't
out
believe
on
any
December
promises
3rd.
Sony makes. I'm sorry, I told you about that. I'm sorry.
It's
Do
going
it
to be
again.
coming out December 3rd. It's going to be $100. It looks like Final Fantasy VII, Jumping Flash, Ridge Racer Type 4, Tekken 3, and Wild Arms are some of the 20-something games that are supposed to be on it.
Fuck this system.
I think
Yeah,
this
I
is a
don't
bad idea.
I do too.
I mean, I guess there's people out there that will maybe
I don't know. There are people who grew up with it where
that's exactly what I
those
was going to say.
graphics are
their
our
60
16-bit, our
Yes. I don't
8-bit
No,
that we
those
love.
aren't endearing
No.
in any way, though. Because like the 16-bit stuff, the like Nintendo and Super Nintendo stuff, like still looks really good.
Yes.
This stuff, like if
It
you go
looks
back and play
clean.
like Resident Evil 1 or something
Oh,
like that, it's
God.
bad. It just looks bad.
Final Fantasy VII looks like shit.
Think about the prequels, the Star Wars prequels. Some people, those are their favorites
You're
because that's what they grew up
absolutely right.
with.
Oh.
Even if they're shitty to us, this may very well be successful. I don't believe it will be successful as the
No.
Nintendo's,
Yeah.
but I believe it will sell, especially with some key titles, which
And
I don't think they're going to get.
It is only $100.
Because I played PS1 when I was pretty dang young.
I mean, because they have some good titles like Medieval.
It's still $20 more than Nintendo's systems as well.
Metal Gear.
Yeah, Metal Gear, Silent Hill.
I mean, they have some titles.
I just don't know if they're going to be on there.
Exactly.
But Metal Gear's been remade. When it was remade for GameCube, they
Yeah.
redid all the graphics and everything else, added some stuff in it. Resident Evil was also remade for the GameCube.
And they're remaking it again.
Yeah,
And it's
Resident Evil 2 is being
amazing.
remade too.
it doesn't have the same charm,
No.
is what it is.
I think that
No, it doesn't.
But if you were growing up in probably ages, this is just bullshit guessing, but from 5 to like 10 or 13, and now you're at the age where you have the buying power, this might be something that kind of, gets your jollies. But to me, it's like you can still go get a PS1 probably for like $50 today and
Yeah.
get the games for pretty dirt cheap as well.
Isn't that you guys' age group though? You and Mike?
It's not as endearing to me. Like
See, I think PS1 came out when I was like a little in my
PS1
teenagers.
came out in 95, 97.
Wasn't it?
around
Okay.
there.
Yeah, it's
Huh.
95, 96.
I feel
So
like I was older. So yeah, it is in my age, and I don't give a shit about this.
yeah,
I think
But I also Nintendo was when I was like 5, and that's
I
like
think
what
it
I
was
was
too late. It came out too late for us. I'm talking about
Yes.
formative years.
Yeah, like the kids that were 5 years old in '94.
how old were you guys in 95?
I was 10.
Yeah, I was 10 or
I mean,
12. Maybe.
I was 15, so I didn't.
The
My
Super
brother got
NES,
one.
The Super NES came out when I was.
I was probably 10 when the NES came out. Right?
The NES came out
No, it
when
came
I
out,
was
was
like
it?
8.
Well, how do you
Yeah.
feel
Or
about it?
9.
Because you're basically Gen X. I mean, what do you
I
feel?
bought the system brand new when it came out.
I mean, do you feel that, like what, we're saying that, do you feel that now, because you're neither generation really, do you feel that the Super Nintendo and Nintendo look better than PS1?
I think that Super
They aged
Nintendo
better.
does. I don't think Nintendo does.
I think they look better. Like you said, I think they aged better.
Yes.
At the time, PlayStation was revolutionary.
Yes.
well, for
But
Super Nintendo, I'm sorry not to step on
No,
here,
no.
but is those graphics, for lack of a better word, are cute.
Yeah.
They're cute
Mhm.
graphics. Like they look nice. They're fun. A lot of the games were very fun looking.
They didn't shoot for realism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so I think that's why they're better, they're more
PS1
timeless.
was where they were started
Exactly.
going for that, look at these graphics, because at the time those were really good
Because
graphics.
I remember when Resident Evil 2 came out,
yes.
I was blown away. I
Right.
went and got my parents, like, come look at this game. And it's terrible now. It looks awful.
I bought a racing game. I bought Gran Turismo when it first came out, the original Gran Turismo.
yeah.
And I bought that because, my
graphics.
God, these look like real cars. And
Yeah.
I went back a couple years ago and played it, and like, this looks like total shit. I don't know how I thought this looked like real cars. but comparison to what you had available at the time is different.
Yeah, it's blown away. It's like someone taking away your giant Motorola like flip antenna phone and handing you an original iPhone. You're gonna be blown the fuck away. And it's the slowest piece of shit you've ever had.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's relative to what you've been exposed to.
Yep.
Exactly, and that's why I think this is a bad idea, because 3D graphics and everything else, and the way games are played, and that types of things. That's kind of the grandfather of the modern gaming is the PS1.
Do you think the system will have that 1080 graphic improvement?
I hope not.
Yeah,
because it will not help it.
So are you talking about maybe the control schemes and things like that would be too rudimentary because it's so close to modern gaming now?
Yeah,
is that kind of what you're saying?
I mean, compared to like Resident Evil. The original Resident Evil plays shit.
It was
tank
terrible.
Controls, those fucking tank controls.
Yeah.
You can't shoot and move at the same time.
Exactly, and a lot of those original classic PlayStation games were designed to play with a control pad, not an analog stick. Analogs came around about the time Metal Gear Solid did.
Yeah, because that was when the DualShock first came out.
Yep.
And because
in response
the system
to
used both sticks.
Yes.
Because a lot of games before that only used one of the sticks.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
Yeah. So it was... there's some things that are not going to translate well. The graphics aren't going to translate well. I just think it's a bad idea. You can get most of these games on...
the PlayStation Network.
Yeah, on PlayStation Network or whatever else.
As well.
No, I think it's a bad idea.
Ooh.
$100.
And and that's the other point.
Let me see that game list first.
Yeah, the whole game
20
list will
games.
help. I think it's too expensive when you compare it to what Nintendo's offered with their systems, because their systems came out $60 or $80, wasn't it?
I'd say there's
80.
no way
80.
that a flash card running emulation or even the original games on Flash is worth $100.
Wait a minute.
No.
Can I put in my CDs and do the music player still? Because then it's worth $100.
It's probably going to be a mini system.
No, I know.
It is.
It is.
It is.
It was a terrible joke. I hate it.
Well, you probably didn't listen to a lot of music on your PS1 like I did. Because it had a pretty awesome, you could make it do different sound waves and stuff like that, and it was a lot of fun.
PS1 sound system was pretty good for the time.
Yeah,
but
for the time, it was legit. All right,
TellTale video game developer
and fucking people
fucking closed up.
Shutter.
Man.
This is sad.
Yeah, they have a skeleton crew running. Tell us a little bit about what they've got going on.
What TellTale was famous for was their episodic story-based video games.
It's like choose your own adventure type video games, but with the books. You know how you turn to page this. It was very similar in that sense, I feel, and relied a lot on QuickTime events. Correct.
There were QuickTime events for action-y type stuff. There was a lot of puzzle solving, but again, everything was really story-based.
Yes,
and
it would be almost called more of an interactive story than a game.
Yes, and I loved them. They were great. They had
the Batman one. They did
the Walking Dead
one has been a big
There's
one.
There's a Guardians of the Galaxy one
they
did.
Game of Thrones, Wolf Among Us.
Didn't they redo Sam and Max as well?
Batman. They did Sam and Max.
Batman.
So they've had some really good stuff, and I can see why they would have went out, but it's just it's sad.
It looked very niche, and I think on the mobile platform, I actually enjoyed it better than playing on my system.
Well, I said a couple things. Was the company was mismanaged from the beginning.
Yes,
a lot of bloated development teams, a lot of crazy ass deadlines, a lot of people not getting paid. Apparently, nobody got severance.
Yeah, I saw a post, and a guy was talking about how he worked a bunch of weekends, a lot of overtime to get the game done, to then get laid off with no severance and didn't get paid for all the time he worked.
Yeah. So
wow.
And so his advice was, get paid for when you're working.
Don't work. Yeah. Never work for free.
Yeah,
exactly. You never know when it's going to come back to to not come back to you. And I lost my train of thought. But I did. Well, no, that's nothing.
You got nothing.
It sucks. I mean, the games seem like a very niche market, so I'm not really surprised.
Well, that's what they said. The system that they used a lot was very buggy as well, and they would never upgrade it. And because they were forced on these deadlines, and an inferior product kept coming out, so although they were a niche market, they were producing games of, I guess, lesser and lesser quality, especially as time goes on and, other systems and gaming platforms and graphic systems improve. If you're running into the same graphics, the same bugs in the game, it's going to eventually get aware on the user, especially when everything else is progressing so far and has become so much more polished.
Yeah.
So this sucks, but
they canceled everything. Stranger Things, The Wolf Among Us 2.
Yeah. Walking Dead's not going to get finished.
Yeah, they canceled finishing the Walking Dead season. Ton of stuff. They said there was something they were doing that they were contractually obligated to finish.
The Minecraft story mode for Netflix.
There you go.
And I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's odd.
Yeah, so once that's done, they're shuttering the entire studio.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a shame, and it's always sad to hear about a game studio closing.
Yeah.
Especially one like that with a high renown, It was kind of like when
they've won several Game of the Year awards for their Walking Dead games and Wolf Among Us. So it's
that was like when they shuttered the BioShock team studio. What are they called again?
That was
I want to say Insomniac, but it's not Insomniac.
BioShock, the one up in I know which one. BioWare? Yeah, it's when they shuttered the BioWare branch in Canada, I think it was, and they moved them to Texas.
Either way,
that was before Mass Effect Andromeda, so that explains a little bit.
So Death Stranding, we got a new trailer for this. This is the Kojima a game that's coming out soon-ish, maybe.
Kojima said he wants it out before the 2020 Tokyo Olympics.
Soon-ish for Kojima.
Yeah, I would say soon for him.
That's a pretty solid time frame for Hideo Kojima.
Yeah. This, I remember when we saw the first trailer for this. It's probably been over a year.
This looks dramatically different.
Yeah, it has shifted a bunch. And we've seen multiple trailers since then.
Yeah, we've seen gameplay trailers and stuff like that.
And this is the first one where I'm like, okay, well, I think it's too weird for me now, so I probably won't be getting this game.
Yeah, Ray's open the fuck out. So.
No, this is the first trailer I was like, I might actually be into this game, because it's very bizarre.
It is.
I don't know what I've seen.
No.
I think the one where I was like, man, this is really weird as shit is when he's carrying the baby around, and I think it was the actual gameplay trailer.
Which,
it was.
I posted it to the group, but no one watched it yet. There's a guy who has a theory on what's going on. One of the theories is that those monsters, the way they get to you based on the video footage, and he showed video footage from different trailers to kind of prove this, is that when these monsters touch you, they age you to death.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And so the babies people are carrying around aren't cargo. Those are clones of themselves.
Yeah, that's
so
what
that when they die, this baby matures and then they wake up as a clone of themselves after they've died.
Yeah, that's their extra life,
insane.
basically.
Yeah, and Norman Reedus has these handprints all over his body, which are times he's died. And he said at one point he's extinction level or something, so they think that there's possibly a finite number of times you can come back.
Ooh.
And he's running out, I guess.
It sounds like a great story.
And there's also
for
some reasons when they touch you, there's a huge explosion, I guess, because there's a giant ass crater. But I guess you just wake up right next to it. So because at one point you see when he's getting ready, he stabs himself, and then the baby kind of comes out, and it's just. It's weird. It's fucking weird, but cool at the same time.
Such a fucking crazy idea.
So
I know,
watch
right?
Watch the video.
Makes more
I'll
sense
definitely
with
watch it.
the newest one, because whatever he's carrying looks like almost an adult size child.
I've seen him carry. I don't know I think it's a dead body, but I don't know what it is that he's carrying on him. But I've seen that in other earlier trailers, where he's delivering some kind of wrapped up body shape.
Yeah.
And then he's had on other, I think it was the gameplay footage, he had like 10 feet of stuff
Yeah.
on his back
And
on
he'll
one of
have
them.
like little droids following him as well,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
these like floating dolly type robots.
Mm-hmm.
So weird.
So I still don't know what the fuck's going on, but at least that kind of makes some sense within the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was announced that Marvel Studios, for their new the new streaming service that Disney's going to be having, Kevin Feign is going to be supervising a few shows, Marvel shows. I don't think that surprises anyone. But what was surprising is that they're going to be. It looks like Loki and Scarlet Witch are going to be the focuses of those shows, and Tom Hiddleston and Elizabeth Olsen are going to be actually starring in these. So
Was it starring? I thought it was voice acting.
No, it's
No.
no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. That's a lot different than I thought it was.
Yeah,
It's gonna
so
be.
so there's nothing. No one has said anything about like what kind of budget we're looking at for this kind of stuff. But it looks like between this and the Star Wars with this Iron Man director, I'm lost his name.
Jon Favreau.
Favreau is working on. Like they're having some heavy hitters that they're trying because they're really wanting to compete with Netflix and Amazon.
Yeah, I'm.
That's to be expected.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I with the trends that everyone's talking about, like this is going to be the way that things are done in the future. Like,
And honestly, I mean, those two guys are I mean, they're respectable actors, but they're not too big to be on a show.
No, they're not the big ones.
He hasn't really. He's been in a few movies, and none of them really taken off. And I don't think I can think of anything she's done, which I don't really follow her career, so that's not fair. But nothing big that I've seen. I'm like, oh, hey, it's a chick from Avengers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So good. I mean, good for them, and especially with them. Hopefully, that means we're gonna get a good budget, a pretty cool story.
I feel like
and
this is,
Hiddleston's British, so they'll do anything for
That's true.
more
That's
money.
true.
Honestly.
I feel like this is the absolute final death because they've been acting like it was going away and it keeps coming back. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think is done for now. If this kind of stuff is going to be coming out, there's no need for something like that on ABC anymore.
Well, I bet if it's successful, though, they'll probably keep making it.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been limping along, barely making it.
I think it's made it. I think it's told its story it needs to tell, and they can probably
I'm
give
surprised
something
it's still
else.
on.
Every
time you guys mention it, I'm like, wasn't the show fucking canceled last season?
There have been several times that everyone has thought, okay,
Bring back
they're not getting they're not getting another
hashtag.
season, and
Yeah, you
they
haven't-
sure do.
I haven't seen that type of
No,
thing.
there hasn't been.
Ray
Yeah.
keeps writing in.
It's like, hey, Ted Marvel.
I don't.
This is Jimmy Ray from Live Oak.
Jamie Ray
You
over here.
remember me and my other frequent postings I've sent you.
So, in an interview with the Hollywood Reporter, Bob Iger from the Disney was saying that Kevin Feign is probably going to oversee X-Men. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone.
No.
He said,
What?
and I quote, I think it only makes sense. I want to be careful here because of what's been communicated with the Fox folks, but I think they know. It only makes sense for Marvel to be supervised by one entity. There shouldn't be two Marvels. So I think we all kind of knew this was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There have been some people that have been holding on to, like, X-Men needs to be its own thing, and it may still be, but Kevin's done a hell of a job with the Marvel Cinematic Universe already.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see it's at least going to be in his hands. So, we're also. It looks like Netflix is.
Sorry. I would be surprised if they brought in X-Men and didn't integrate it with the rest of the world.
A lot of people have been saying like X-Men can exist on its own. I mean, it has been for years.
Yeah, it can, but
I don't know why you would want to.
That's kind of where I would be.
I feel like mostly it could be on its own, and then every now and then, like with Avengers Infinity War, something that big level, bring in some X-Men players, because it is better when it's told by, kind of secluded off in its own little version of Marvel. But yeah, I would have been wildly surprised if they had been like, oh no, those are going to be separate. They're still separate.
It could just be a huge amount of characters and a huge continuity to maintain alongside everything else.
That's
possibly.
true. That's true.
Because it is big enough, like you said, to be its own entity.
With so many characters and their own standalone films, and then when they make their team up, like, because imagine if they had their like individuals and then they team up for the X-Men. That's like their Avengers team up for movies.
Yeah, I don't know if that will work as well for X-Men.
But if they wanted to revamp
Wolverine.
Yeah,
that's true. Wolverine is about the only X-Man that can pull his own like solo comic, much less movie. So
I don't know, man.
I've never seen Gambit with starring Channing Tatum.
They keep throwing out like solo comics of individual X-Men, and they never seem to work. Yeah,
I mean, and I'm definitely not saying that's what they're doing, but you go back to when this started, I would have never thought that Thor movie
You're absolutely
by itself
right.
or Captain America. So it's just how you write them and put them in there. I mean, I know that the comics have been that way, but a movie, I'd be like
completely different. Could be. Yeah. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Netflix.
I'm glad you threw that on there.
Yeah, Avatar's finally coming, guys.
I was about to yell, I don't give a fuck.
The Last Airbender.
Still there.
Yeah, I know. Based on the anime, is good. Netflix is working on a film,
a live action, and a live action series.
Yeah, with the original creator. So
that's good.
That's the good news.
I need to see this series because it is just like a huge cult following.
It really does have that.
It's insane how many people. It was a younger thing, a younger phenomenon, younger than me. So I'm 32, so it's younger than that. So it's something I completely missed.
Me too.
But I know that it recently ended, or at least the Legend of Korra, which I can think was a continuation series, maybe 2 to 3 years ago. So I don't know. But I definitely need to give it a watch because people say it's really good.
No, people that watch it love it, and that's why they were so mad when the movie came out. That I guess
Shyamalan,
it was
ding dong.
Yeah, Shyamalan, ding dong, shit all
did
over.
Did another twist by shitting all over it. I love the series.
For real.
Twist ending. He fucking hated it.
But that
Did that one have a twist ending? I've never watched. I've never met anyone that's watched it.
No. Everyone I've ever
that wasn't a twist though, Mike.
Terrible.
Yeah.
People saw it coming a mile away that it was going to suck.
Yeah, no, I remember seeing the previews going, that looks like
I want to watch the
giant
entire
piece of
series
shit.
just so I can watch the movie
and be pissed.
and just feel that much anger.
So moving on.
I'm not done, right? No,
this is a little bit of a sidebar. Are you still watching the Mindy Project, TJ?
No, I never was.
Oh, was it you, Nathan, that was watching it?
Yeah.
Did you finish it?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
There's one part where she meets a person named Chloe, and she keeps calling her Chlo. And it's my favorite thing. In this next piece of news, Chloe, not Chlo, Chloe Zhao, who was the director of The Rider, has been hired to do Marvel's The Eternals. It was thought that she was meeting with them, and it was thought that maybe she was going to be the Black Widow director, but it looks like she is doing The Eternals. And it's possible, it's kind of being rumored that since Guardians of the Galaxy is kind of out in limbo right now, that this might take its place. This is another one of those things that I'm a little skeptical of. I don't know why you would do an Eternals.
I am still.
It was the same way when Guardians came out. So, I mean, until they have a real big stinker on some of these.
I don't know. They were just gung ho on doing it in Humans, and they're like, wait a minute. This is fucking stupid. Let's make this a TV show instead.
I think an Inhumans film would have been way better than an Eternals, though.
I don't know. It just there's no interesting
for
characters in Humans, and there are even less interesting Eternals aside from
I think some.
Thanos.
I think some of the
and he's only interesting in the MCU because he has at least a decent motivation. His motivation in comic books sucks ass.
For decades, Thanos was a very bland, boring character, and
the
only reason
until he got the Thanos copter.
Yes.
Well, he had that when he started, and then he got rid of it.
Yeah. Then he got
Couldn't
it
make
back.
the payments.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean I gotta make payments?
He used
It's like, I'm a fucking supervillain. I don't
No.
make payments.
No.
he used their
Mr.
power
Thanos.
stones to cut his payment in half.
his ultimate arch villain is the loan officer. Mr. Thanos, right here, you signed for a 24% APR. Like, God damn it.
I'm sorry you signed this, so
This contract is.
I have to remain if you
And
snap
also
your
a
fingers.
clause not to
Contractual
kill any
obligations.
of us.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll just
You
have
can
to
kill me, but the agreement stands.
It is eternal.
and that's where we get the Eternals.
Exactly.
His eternal payment on that Thanos contract.
Goddamn chapter.
Kingsman 3. It looks like it is going to be taking the spot of Bond 25 and coming out November 8th of 2019.
Okay.
So they're going to finish this up. Bob Iger he didn't say it wasn't in this recent one, but he said he would like to see that continue.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's into them. He thinks they're good films. But yeah, so the third one we'll get the third one, and we have a date for it now, November 8th, 2019. So mark it down on your calendar now.
Yeah, it's a franchise you could continue even without the main actors. So it's and it's kind of fun, and
And I guess it's one of the only Miller things that one of the few that Netflix doesn't own.
Yeah.
I would assume, since they're still able
Sounds
to do
like
them.
it. Yeah.
So Bryan Singer is in negotiations to direct Red Sonja, which is surprising that someone as good as James Gunn can make jokes about sexual misconduct,
pedophilia, and someone that actually more
someone
than
who
likely
actually
committed
probably
it.
does it is still getting work and everything, and
Because he's protected.
yeah, and Bryan Singer is known for his great females in his movies, so Red Sonja is probably a perfect thing for him. That is sarcasm. He
Yes.
is not known for that.
Oh my god!
I think this is a complete shit move in every way possible.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this idea. I mean, Red Sonja can be fun if you do it right, and I don't think Singer's the right guy for it.
I don't either.
It's kind of got to be a period piece type thing, and he doesn't do
No, he doesn't do that.
that stuff.
He's the wrong. If he wasn't a complete ass, he's the wrong person in general. So
Yeah, I was just
I'm hoping this
ignoring
doesn't
all this
work.
personal stuff, just as just his body of work does not scream to
No.
me. Oh yeah, let's go to a sword and sorcery type movie with Bryan Singer.
Yeah. Godzilla and Kong enters production in the beginning of next month for a 2020 release.
I'm excited for this, just because fucking it's two giant monsters fighting, and it's Godzilla and King Kong. I mean,
Has in their entire history have they ever met?
Yeah,
Have
All the
they?
time.
Okay.
yeah, they've had I think at least 3 movies where they fought together.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
was
used to
never a
rent one
huge-
all the time at Video Village.
I was a never huge Godzilla fan. I like the
Shows.
concept. Yeah.
Mhm.
after the last King Kong movie that came out, I thought was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
yeah, they always have to
You haven't
tweak
seen
the
that, right?
sizes though because
Yeah, they did have the
King Kong
He's
is
fucking massive in the newest one.
Yeah, King Kong's always like small. Like he's
Yeah.
50 feet tall, which sounds big until you think about Godzilla being at
Hundreds.
least
'Cause,
200 feet.
And
Yeah.
that,
Well, it is like 100 meters in the new movie, so
Yeah,
that's
so that's 300 something
321
feet.
oh, yeah.
meters.
No, in the new one, like there's the scene where they just have him standing there, and he's just a fucking mountain.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The new movie was great. It was way better than the Godzilla remake they had made, in my personal opinion.
Mhm.
I thought the story was a lot better. Did anybody else? I know Mike watched it.
The
So I
newest
saw,
one?
yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was,
this-
what year was that?
2016, maybe?
2016. Yeah.
Okay.
The
Yeah, I haven't
newest.
seen it yet, but I do want to see
Hey,
it.
you guys
so.
should watch it. That was a great flick.
Todd Phillips put up some stuff from from Joaquin Phoenix being the Joker in his Joker film.
Dude, this is getting me excited. I'll have to say, seeing these clips and how Joaquin's looking.
It's hilarious because this is another thing where like the internet. I don't get you people. I don't understand how you people are so dumb sometimes because everyone's like, that's not what the Joker looks like. That looks more like Gacy, like all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, guys, you
If
don't
it
even
looks
know.
like Gacy, that's fucking creepy as anyway.
But it's not the Joker, obviously. And it's like, you don't know what this is. Number one, the thing that he put out was from a test screening. It's not even from the film. But he has put out some photos and stuff like that since then.
They've been leaking. I don't want
Maybe
to say
they've been
leaking.
leaking.
They've been putting this stuff out.
These
I
are the
guess-
same people that probably love Jared Leto's Joker, so I don't
Maybe.
even want to listen to
And
them.
the people that are really excited for Venom and think it's going to be awesome.
Did you guys? I think I posted. It was a small like quip about talking about the new Joker. I don't think I shared it. I'm sorry. I read about it, but they were talking about the gentleman who's directing this movie.
Mm-hmm.
He had brought up. He was talking.
Todd Phillips.
He wanted to do a character movie, like a character story, like where they just took a villain and kind of brought it out and really explored who he was in a low budget. Which $50 million it doesn't seem low budget until you compare it to like other. Ant-Man was what, like $175 million or something like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of special effects though, compared to a Joker movie.
What I was saying, like in comparison of a superhero movie.
Mhm.
And I guess they had talked about years ago, and he went and had a meeting, and that's where they were like, well, we should do the Joker. And it kind of, so this has been talking for a while. And then Walking Phoenix has always said he'd be interested in doing it if it was more like a character piece. And which is what this movie is all about.
And I think some of my hesitation with this film, Todd Phillips is he did Road Trip, Old School, Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah, his filmography
The Hangover.
is very...
He's done all the Hangovers.
Yeah.
And then War Dogs in 2015.
Which War Dogs was pretty well received.
Yeah. So it's interesting to have him wanting to do something a little more like this.
War Dogs was more serious, and the Hangover movies, while silly, were shot well.
Yeah.
So I'm with you though. When I was looking at that, I was like, man, that's a very weird record.
I like how those all have a common theme too. They're all comedies.
Yeah.
So this could be a good thing though. You could have a good comedy background, and good comedy timing on.
That's true.
On it, and
this
just
could be
twisted black fucking dark humor.
And then I do like Walking Phoenix. I think he, in the right role, could be a really good actor.
Yeah.
So the more they like releasing those things and kind of the look and feel, I'm at least very intrigued. And excited, extreme. Like before, with just the whole idea of like it's confusing. Like we got a Joker movie with other Jokers, but seeing, I was like, okay, this makes sense. This definitely isn't like your general popcorn blockbuster movie. This seems like it's going to be like that December movie that comes out as very adult oriented, and it's like if you're a super nerd, you go watch it.
Well, and I think it's too early to start yelling about it.
That's way too early.
Way too early.
Yeah, I think this is going to surprise a lot of people, though.
Maybe. We have a new director for James Bond 25, Kerry Joji Fukunaga.
Fukunaga, I think.
Fukunaga. Okay, that makes sense. I'm not real familiar with
He wrote True Detective Season 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good writer.
And he's going to be directing Bond 25 because, of course, the old director
Sam Mendes.
pieced out. Yeah. So this did get moved back, of course, and that's what we were talking about with Kingsman taking over its date. Mike, why are you excited about this?
I really enjoyed Season 1 of True Detective. I like Fukunaga's work, so I'm interested to see what he can do with an action spy type movie. Is this one going to have Daniel Craig, or is this the recast?
This is Daniel Craig.
I think it's his last one, though.
I believe so.
I think he said it was his last one.
I'm interested to see what he can do then with the role, but I'm excited to see what the director can do with a full big budget movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because the story in True Detective was amazing.
That first season was out of control. Probably the biggest letdown of my life was True Detective Season 2 after that first season of True Detective. We got two pretty big movie trailers this week. The first one we're going to talk about is Mary Poppins Returns from Disney. Did any of y'all grow up watching the Mary Poppins films?
Yes.
Like a lot?
I did.
Yeah, I hate the Mary Poppins
Absolutely.
film. Hate's wrong word. I find it very boring now. It has not aged well to me.
I feel like I was tortured with that film when I was in elementary school. Whenever we didn't go outside for PE, we would watch this film or Sound of Music.
Oh Jesus!
Oh wow.
Yeah, those were the two. So I hate those movies. Mary Poppins not as much. Sound of Music I can't
I
stand.
liked them more as I got older, though, because
Okay.
there's other things that I see it more from the adult side and how ridiculous it is. Because I see it a lot from Mr. Banks' side, like the dad in the first movie. It's like, man, this bitch comes up in my house, like doing all kinds of crazy shit and everything.
Yeah.
Fucking up my job.
Give my kids cough syrup to go to sleep.
Yeah, just messing shit up. So, in a way, it's more entertaining to me now than when I was a kid. And I still love different parts of it, like Dick Van Dyke and like
Mary
the guy that was
Poppins.
laughing in the chair up in everything. So it was a lot of fun.
Launch on the Ceiling still the best.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forget Ed something. I forget Ed Wynn is that guy's name, and he's in some other things like from that time period, like Twilight Zone and stuff. And I just love that actor. So
Emily Blunt looks like she's going to do an incredible job in this role.
She is a really good actress.
Yeah.
And she's also a fantastic singer. She was in Into the Woods, which is a really amazing musical that came out, I guess, about 4 years ago, give or take. So I'm excited to see her in this role and just, doing her thing because she's entertaining.
Is this one y'all would go see?
Pretty. I would watch it. I don't know if I'll go to the theater.
I would probably go to it if
It's a Christmas movie.
If
It comes
Katie
out on
says I want to
Christmas.
go see it, then I'd probably go see it.
I know Allison's absolutely going to want to watch it because she loves the old Mary Poppins. I haven't watched it in years, but I would probably give it a chance again to
the
try it.
preview, it looks like a good movie.
Yeah,
It's like Mike
very
said earlier.
whimsical.
Looks very magical.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the biggie, Tuesday we got the trailer for Captain Marvel finally dropped. We got the Entertainment Weekly article a couple of weeks ago. Looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Uh,
And now we have a full trailer to go over for hours and hours and
I don't know what
hours.
trailer you watched. Stuff looked lame. Did you hear her voice? It was all like high pitch and stuff.
I was going to talk about that, actually.
My favorite two things is how much the internet loves her punching that old lady,
Yes.
and how they talk about the last scene where she's getting like powered up, and people are being like, "Oh, so they made the angry emoji movie a movie character."
My favorite is like the theory is like going to punch the old lady, and then she turns out that she's not a bad guy at all.
Not a bad guy.
So, but I read that. I was like, man, that would be funny as
Yeah.
shit.
Or the power up is for the final punch of the old lady.
Whooping that old bitch's ass.
But,
With that fucking
but
chair.
yeah, going back to Nathan's comment though earlier about the high pitch on her voice, we talked a little bit about it before the podcast about how most movie heroines, especially in action films, have kind of a deeper voice. You think
Little
about
gruff
Sigourney
words.
Weaver and Linda Hamilton and several others. They always kind of have a deeper voice, and this is really surprising that she has a higher pitched voice.
Yeah.
So it's a nice contrast. I like it.
Oh yeah. This has been the film since way back when they were announcing Civil War and all that. They announced this, and this has been one of the ones that I've been looking forward to because it is a little. Captain Marvel is a little more out there than like Captain America, Thor, all the stuff that they were doing. Doctor Strange was pretty wild, so I'm enjoying these characters that they're
Guardians
bringing
was
back.
pretty wild.
Guardians absolutely was, but I think by that point Guardians had already been out. They were just announcing Guardians too. So this was the one that I was like, this I think is going to be really cool. And
you were wrong.
Well, so far the trailer, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's a decent trailer. I enjoyed it as well. I think it looks good.
There's no big. Usually with
That's what
Marvel
they-
trailers, there's
yeah.
no big reveal or big thing at the end.
It didn't get me.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just not on the overly hype train. I seen it. I was like, that looks like it's going to be a good movie.
Well, and I think we were the same way when the first Infinity War trailer came out.
Yeah, we were
absolutely.
We were very much like that.
Yeah, it was like, this isn't meh.
I think as the hype builds, we'll get more
Maybe.
excited about it.
But the nice thing with Infinity War, though, is that they didn't put any of the twists in the trailers.
They had like big moments, though.
They had the moments,
That's what
but
I mean.
they had-
Usually, there's a
They
big
had different
moment.
backgrounds to them and stuff
Yes.
like that. Like they had scenes that were not even in the movie.
Because I think the big moment they had was all of them running in Wakanda with the Hulk and everything that wasn't actually in the film.
Yeah.
And that was a great scene to end a trailer on, you know?
Yeah,
or having a trailer.
And Cap grabbing the gauntlet, I mean, it was still in there, but there was only 2 gems on the gauntlet when you saw it.
I'll just say, they just need to always do the Thor Ragnarok, just get Led Zeppelin and just put it on that.
Yeah, fucking A.
And it'll be the best.
Every Marvel trailer from here on out should just be Led Zeppelin.
They could put the Immigrant song on every fucking trailer.
One of them.
And I'd be like, dude, that was a fucking badass trailer. Did you guys see that? Fucking, did you see when she punched that old lady? It was like, ah! I was like, yes!
Are you going to recut the trailer now?
Fuck yeah.
Do it. You've got Final Cut now.
But
do it, man.
When I was talking to you guys, like, my biggest thing is pronounced the Skrulls, right? The Skrulls.
Yeah.
I just I've never been interested in them. When the comics were going on, I ignored them because to me, I'm like, oh yeah, they can shapeshift and become become the person you think they are, and it's just boring to me in theory. With that being said, I never read any comics, so I know a lot of people that read them really enjoyed the Skrulls. It doesn't get me excited.
I thought Secret Invasion was a really good Skrull story,
and I think that's one of the only ones. Honestly,
that's what I always hear about.
Good ones.
There's some different types of stories that you could adapt to use Skrulls in, like They Live, or something like that. Where you don't know who to trust.
Now, if they did
the idea behind them is bigger than what they actually end up
some
being.
Badass glasses and kick some ass, chew some bubblegum.
Yeah.
Maybe Captain Marvel's just actually They Live remake. And now I'm very excited again.
Yeah, I do love the idea of the Skrulls being in it, though, to expand this outer universe, the cosmic side.
And now, the other thing that this brings a lot of stuff to light is this is based in the 90s, so the Skrulls have been on Earth or known about Earth since the 90s.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the Kree and everything. So it opens up a lot of doors for things that they can do.
You think we're going to see Nick Fury lose his eye?
Oh, absolutely.
I
absolutely think that. I don't think they're going to do a lot more throwback movies like this. But let's talk about how good Nick Fury looks.
Yeah.
The CGI on him
badass.
in the trailer.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
With that being said, kind of going back to Mary Poppins a little bit, Dick Van Dyke in that fucking trailer, too.
Oh, shit, yeah, because we were looking up, he's 93? 92. And dancing and shit on there.
And technology, man. Crazier than hell.
But no, when you see Sam, you're like, damn, dude, Sam Jackson looks great. And
you're like, man, like Sam Jackson.
Look better than he did when he was that age.
Yeah.
He's like, damn, it's a good looking motherfucker.
Yeah, I was really, really impressed with that. Because normally, when you get the trailer, you don't have a lot of, there's some unfinished CGI. If that's unfinished, goddamn.
No, that looks
good. Great.
Now, real quick for us non-comic reading guys, Captain Marvel, what exactly are her powers and what does she do?
Captain Marvel she can kind of absorb energy, and then she has like basic powers, like she can fly, she can she's really strong, she's very durable, she's like a good car, and she can
slap her ass. Look at the mileage this thing gets.
And she has like a power blast, a photon blast, or something like that. But she can charge up from different energies and stuff like that. So,
and she's the most powerful.
She's the most powerful MCU character, apparently.
Yep.
So
that's saying a lot, though.
Huh?
Saying a whole lot.
Now it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like most of Thor wasn't like, I don't know. He wasn't like, Iron Man and Cap fought him to a standstill.
I don't think he was trying that hard.
Yeah.
But, Ragnarok kind of showed where Thor's power level got cranked up pretty.
Yeah.
Because there's some pretty powerful things that are going on in Ragnarok.
Yeah. He couldn't beat Hela.
Well, hell, you got Thanos, and she's more powerful than him, so.
No, I think she's the most powerful hero.
Yeah.
Not the most powerful character.
That's how I was like, she's the most character.
Yeah, she's the most powerful hero that we've seen so far.
I think we're going to get a Galactus, and I think we're going to get a Silver Surfer
eventually. I think that's coming with the Fox acquisitions and all. All right, well, that's what I've got for the news. Y'all want to move on to some mailbag?
Let's do it.
Yes, mailbag.
All right, we've got a couple of questions on the mailbag this week. First off, from Jack, he said, "Hey guys, I'm posting this because I'm right smack dab in the middle of one. Everyone in my crew is basically chained to a toilet. It's not pretty. My question, what's the worst road trip you've ever been on?"
It's a good question.
That is a good question.
I like this question.
Who wants to go first? Who's got a bad road trip? I've got a couple I can tell real quick if y'all want to think about
Do
it.
you real quick. Yeah.
So I've got. I did a couple of tours in bands and stuff. I did a couple of tours in bands.
Road trip, actually.
Yeah.
Fuck.
No, don't call
I'm out.
They're not tours; they're crusades.
But
Had to bring some Christ.
Ray's
to the
like, so
Muslims.
me and Richard the Lionheart, we're going down with some camels.
But there were two of them because I played in a Christian rock band for a while, and we were playing at this church, and they were putting us up at it was a biker church, and they were putting
bunch
us
of bicycles everywhere, guys in bike
It was
shorts.
21 speed, bro.
yeah, but they had a halfway house for like these guys, biker guys that got out of prison. They were trying to help out and stuff, so they just put us up there. They were like, "Y'all can stay here." So, but they didn't have any electricity in the rooms, and we were in New Mexico, and it was like really hot. So, and there were a bunch of mosquitoes. So we had the door open to get like sort of a breeze, but I kept getting eaten up by mosquitoes and stuff. So I went into the like actual church, and we had all our guitar equipment and stuff, and I just moved it out of the way and like slept in there. And around 5-6 in the morning, I just hear some people like, "Yeah, it must have come in here last night," like kind of whispering about stuff. And I'm like, "Oh shit!" And then they like come poke at me, and they're like, "Ma'am, ma'am." And I like get up, and I have a huge beard, but I had really long hair, and they thought some vagrant had like broke in and climbed up on the stage and like went to sleep. But they saw it was me, and they were like, "Oh, okay, yeah, you're fine. So then I talked to them later, and they were all like
Refused
cool.
to press charges.
Yeah, they were. But they're the same tour, a different biker church. We're playing in the and we're just playing a show, just playing some rock and roll, and the pastor comes in on his Harley into the church and starts like squealing out on his Harley, burning rubber on the like carpet and stuff. And later that night, they were offering to feed us, so they had spaghetti, but it was the very classic with ketchup over the top, just ketchup spaghetti. And the other alternative was
So are you saying it was just noodles and ketchup?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And the other alternative was they had some expired sandwiches from vending machines.
I would have definitely gone for the ketchup spaghetti.
Give me all the ketchup
At least it's
spaghetti I can
fresh.
handle.
So those were they're more funny now, but at the time it was weird. Not so much horrible, but weird.
I've honestly, every road trip I've had is usually pretty good. I've had like many trips where stuff went bad, but I've never had like a bad road trip. So
Yeah.
When I was doing study abroad, we had went to a friend's country house to stay the evening and then go to a festival the next day.
You've told this story is so good.
Yeah, so the country house is amazing, and it's the only time during the entire time I did study abroad where I actually rode in a vehicle. So that's how far away it was, because mass transit's everywhere there. So we go stay the night. We go to town the next day for the festival. See the festival. It's drunk by like 10:30 in the morning. Out there all day. They're hauling around these huge wooden floats and everything for the festival. They get us roped into one, so we're all drunk, and they keep feeding us booze and pushing this thing along. Well, we're having a good old time. Well, it gets late, and both of my friends are missing. I had two friends with me, And the person whose house we were staying at was like, I need to go. My parents said, I need to go. Like, well, there are 2 people missing, that are staying at your place. Don't you feel the least bit responsible? No. And so they left. They just stranded us in a town I've never been to. So that was fun.
Just pieced out?
Yeah, they fucking pieced right out and went home.
Fuck.
Well, luckily, one of the people participating in the festival was a mutual friend whose family lived in the area. And they had a very small house. We'd actually eaten dinner there earlier. Sorry, I had to readjust. And the living room is also their dining room and is maybe 10 feet from corner to corner. And then there's just a tiny kitchen and an almost 90-degree... It's more of a ladder than a stairway up to... It's just a very small house. Well, anyway, so I eventually find my friends. It takes forever. I get one back to the house, then go find the other one who was all the way across town who went with another festival group. I had like 4 or 5 40-year-old Japanese dudes drunk as shit walking me over to this building to retrieve our friend Karsten. We finally get him, and we finally get back into town. Our friend Fuji, who had the home in town, they let us actually stay, like I said, in their living room. It was so late, 2:30 in the morning. I ended up getting them both back, taking a shower. I hear a weird creak, and I turn over, and my friend's mom is like, "Oh, hey," so excuse me, sorry, and just closed the thing, and I was butt naked, but I was so tired, I was like, whatever, fuck it, and I just kind of washed off, and then woke up at 8, still drunk. They fed us, and then we went to Universal the next day. It was fucking crazy.
God.
Man.
That's my road trip story.
Well, mine, it was good and bad. It's the first BotCon I'd ever went to.
It was bad because it was the last BotCon I ever went
to. No, it's the second to last one. But I rode up to Chicago with my friend John. I had to borrow my...
The John?
The John.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I borrowed my sister's vehicle, which was a Kia. Anyway, it's a stick shift. John does not drive stick shift.
Found that out on that trip.
Yeah, so someone got to drive the whole way.
Yeah, so I got to drive the whole way to Chicago.
Nice.
Chi-town.
Yes.
Windy City.
So, and then I like to leave kind of later in the evening.
His ass out of drive stick.
I like to leave kind of later in the evening, and there's no cruise control on it either.
No,
so I was really pissed at this. But I like to leave later in the evening, so I hit Atlanta at about 3 in the morning or so I just drive right through it and don't have to worry about traffic. So anyway, about 12, 13 hours later, I'm tired as shit. We get to Chicago, and there's this toll booth. It's 20 lanes wide, and it goes down to 1 lane on a bridge because of construction.
Nice.
And I'm trying to get John, tell me when these fucking semis are coming up so I don't get hit or anything. I'm trying to weasel my way through this and everything. I like to be and especially in the city, I don't know. I like to be in the lane where I need to turn or whatever else well before I get there. There's 90-mile-an-hour traffic through Chicago on this freeway.
Is probably way before GPSs.
Oh, yeah. This was paper maps.
Yeah.
So
printing out MapQuest directions.
I remember doing that.
Yeah, I was printing out MapQuest directions and having maybe a 2-year-old atlas in the car. It was, oh my God, I hated life.
It sounds fucking horrendous.
It was. The way back was even worse because at the time I had split up from my first wife. Me and John were going on this trip, kind of let's go do something fun to get your head out of this. And so I'm jobless, homeless. I'm staying with my parents at the time and everything. And John's our only source of income on it. And his check didn't clear going back.
Shit.
So we have a course. we have like $20 to get back to
Like
Florida from
planes,
Chicago.
trains, and automobiles feeling it.
We filled up at, I think, North Georgia, and we made it to Mayo, or I made it to Mayo with this car after dropping him off in Lake City. And I was like, I'm not chancing this anymore because I know how far it is to Perry from Mayo, and I am not driving this vehicle anymore because it was well below E.
Yeah.
I was seeing like trees in the middle of the fucking road and everything. And I was so tired.
Fun times.
So it was a good trip, but it was a bad trip.
also.
The harrowing trip.
Yes.
All right, Brian asked, besides Spider-Man, what other character would you like to see get their own game?
If they do it to the quality of Batman and Spider-Man, like they've done, like these two companies have done, I'm going to put those two little caveats on there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Anyone?
Let's see.
Oh, I thought TJ was answering.
No, I was putting those two caveats on there because there's been a lot of shitty superhero games
I
out
used to
there.
read these comics, and I always thought it'd be cool as a video game. They were his name was Mario. He was like a plumber, and if they would just give him a really good standalone game.
He'd be a standout guy.
Yeah,
I'd like to see. I think a Deadpool game could be kind of fun.
Deadpool was fun.
Yeah, they had that Deadpool game a couple of years ago. It was.
I mean, like maybe
a
one
trip.
like kind of a bit longer. Based off the movie.
I was trying to think of what would be another good open world character because I know a lot of people are hoping that a Superman film movie is made.
I would still enjoy a good Superman game where you could, but you would have. I don't know. The biggest thing is because you can fly.
Lego DC superheroes.
Yeah, I don't count those though.
Those are. I'm telling you, they're the best Superman games you'll ever play.
I mean, I believe it's just my thing is like you think with Superman, he's so fast, like you would have to be able to like fly great distances to really enjoy his flight or go into space. And
I really enjoy games where you get to play like a lot of different characters. So a lot of like the Marvel Ultimate Alliance stuff.
Yeah, X-Men Legends.
X-Men Legends. So either like a like Justice League thing like that, or a up to the standard of the Spider-Man X-Men.
I think the Watchmen
game.
would be a pretty cool game.
That'd be a very interesting game.
And that like
Really
fucking
would.
crazy 80s
I think
universe.
Daredevil could be fun.
yeah, that'd be
You
a
could do a lot of sneaking missions.
Yeah.
As a
Daredevil would be
standalone.
cool.
Punisher.
You'd fight like Nightwing probably.
Punisher, I just pretend I'm playing him when I'm playing Contra or something.
Yeah.
So, as far as a team-based game, like I said, it'd have to be something like X-Men Legends or Marvel Ultimate Alliance. So, I would like to see another really good X-Men game. Honestly,
I would love
in that
good
realm.
X-Men game.
long
There've been
time.
a few. There've been a few. He also asked, have any of you guys picked up Marvel's Infinity Wars Prime? If so, is it worth getting? I read some of the lead ups to it. I've been reading all of that stuff on Marvel Unlimited, honestly, instead of buying a bunch of comics.
Yeah,
and focusing on buying.
For $9.99 a month, that's pretty worth it.
It really is.
it's amazing. I mean, you have to wait 6 months per issues, but
it
still.
is about 6 months behind. So I have not begun all of that. I may have read the first one. No, that was maybe. That was Prime.
That's a long answer to say no.
Yeah, no, I have not. I've read some of the lead ups, and so far it seems to be worth it, but I don't know.
That's what you did.
Well, I mean, I could, no.
Well, y'all know I'm a windbag no matter what. So.
Jeff Goldblum, no, right there.
Yeah.
No.
I will find a way to stretch this answer out.
Will Bloodworth asks, do you guys think Black Knight or Ghost Rider will ever be in the MCU?
They already made a Black Knight movie with Martin Lawrence.
I think Black Knight has a better chance of being an MCU than Ghost Rider does.
Because Ghost Rider has the Nick Cage films and was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's why I don't think he'd be in a movie. I think he'd be in either a Netflix series or in like popping back up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, that's what I think. Black Knight, I think, is such a product of his era.
The 90s?
The 90s.
Martin Lawrence.
60s.
His heyday?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see that character coming into the MCU anytime soon. There's so many other characters I think they would bring in.
Yeah,
for
especially
Avengers
at
and
this
stuff.
point.
Yeah, because I think what he's getting at is we're going to have more Avengers eventually.
We will, but I think there's better ones to play off of.
There are. I enjoy the Black Knight.
You're scraping bottom of the barrel when you're going for Black Knight.
If
I'd
we
love
get a
to
West
see,
Coast Avengers, then
Yes.
yes, we will get a Black Knight.
I'd shit my pants if they decided to do a Great Lakes Avengers. Honestly,
Oh, God, I hope they do it.
I do
I'm
too.
gonna come
there.
sit
And
next to
I'll bring them here to the podcast for everybody to
I don't want to
see.
see him afterwards. I want to see it happen. I just want to see you just go, oh.
It'll be like, is he straining or
Yeah.
or is he trying to hold it back?
I think that your cheeks are just going to spread apart violently and poop's just going to shoot out at high speeds
gonna
without
just-
any help.
It's gonna drop out.
We'll
It's like
also,
a brick.
Plop.
Yeah, plop. We'll
Like
also
soft
ask
serve.
which Universal monster movie is your favorite. Mine has to be Van Helsing. I still want a sequel to it. Universal monster movie,
Creatures of the Black Lagoon is my favorite.
I love the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi. I think that one is incredible.
I like the Wolfman from back in the day, and the Invisible Man was pretty good too.
He's saying Van Helsing, so I assume he means new-ish-er ones, but I don't know.
Okay, then that'd be the Brendan Fraser Mummy. Then if it's the newish ones,
Okay.
yeah.
The Benicio del Toro.
He did a really good
Wolf.
Wolfman recently.
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
It wasn't
Oh
that bad.
yeah, that was pretty good.
Was that
I went to the
Universal?
theater and watched it.
Yeah, it was a Universal.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't bad. You know,
Do they own the rights to all of those properties?
Yeah, Universal.
Oh,
you guys
They've
remember
done that monster show at Universal Studios
yeah.
forever.
You guys remember
Yeah.
Wolf with Jack Nicholson?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I remember that
way
it happened.
back.
It was so bad.
But no, Universal made all those movies back
Yeah,
in the
I know.
30s and
I
stuff.
just didn't know if that, like, it seems like something so old, and I don't know, like
Right up
maybe
your alley.
it seems like maybe it would be in Collective Commons or whatever, like people
I think that's why
Public
they
domain?
public domain.
I think
yeah.
that's why they keep making the movies, because isn't that kind of one of those
Keeps them
things?
out of it.
When you do it, you can renew
maybe
it.
I think at a certain point they're just in there.
Well, I mean,
it could be.
Dracula is
Yeah, true.
definitely
Yeah.
in public domain. As far as the
I guess
book
werewolves and stuff are, and maybe just
Maybe it's just
Wolfman.
they got the name Wolfman.
maybe
Mhm.
Trademark.
maybe. Mike, what's yours? You didn't ever answer.
I don't know.
No.
All right, moving on.
All right, well that's it. That was the last one. Thanks for taking us out on a downer.
Well, fuck, I don't know. Like, I
with an
like the
IDK.
Monster Squad.
There you go.
That's not
Okay.
a
Monster
Universal
Squad.
movie, though. I'd like to
There you
see
go.
a sequel to that. Children fighting classic monsters,
Yeah.
or Little Monster starring Howie Mandel and
That
Fred
movie
Savage.
is still one of my favorite
I
movies.
love that movie.
I love
Peanut
it.
butter and onion sandwiches.
Oh, God.
So disgusting.
Does the Lost Boys count in this?
Does what?
Lost Boys?
Man,
I
I don't know.
Would they count in this? Because the Coreys were really good in that, too.
I haven't watched Lost Boys in
I haven't either. I was just thinking that.
The Goonies versus Dracula.
All right. Well, this has been Nerds Who Get Laid sometimes. Thanks for listening, and also if you wrote in, thank you for that. Have a good evening.
If not, fuck off.
Fuck you, bitches.
Fuck you.
Sons of bitches.
Nerds Who Get Laid Sometimes is recorded at the illustrious Big Brown Record Town Studios in beautiful downtown Lake City. Episodes are published each Monday on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, and Google Play. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/nerdswhogetlaid. We're at Nerds Who Get Laid on Twitter and Instagram. We're part of the Geeks World Wide podcast network. You can find reviews and articles we write at thegww.com. We're also part of the Modest Pod podcast network. We're on FloridaGeekscene.com and also WeBeGeeksPC.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. You can also check out the show notes for links about things we talked about in this episode. Thanks so much.
This has been a production of the GWW Radio Network. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Also, check out Geeks World Wide at thegww.com for all the latest news, reviews, and opinions on video games, comics, movies, TV, cosplay, and more. Geeks Assemble!